Alright, the sun's shining and it's time to get some more work done on these things. So what I'm going to do first is take my pattern or my pattern bits and trace those lines inside and out. Like, because what that'll do is it'll delineate where my glue lines are going to be. On this one I just marked the top and bottom. Grab me a straight edge and connect the dots, and this will also show me where the edge bevel is going to go on the inside. So I am going to take this all the way to the end and just make a line. This one I'm just going to follow it carefully. Well, actually on the inside you don't have to be so careful because it's on the inside, it'll be covered up, but still, you know, you don't want to be sloppy. And mark where this one goes. Let me see if I can get down. There we go. Now, there you go. You can see where it's marked on the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other piece, and then we'll go from there. Now I'm going to take my pattern pieces and lay it on top and mark where I want to punch my my belt slots by just pushing in with my scratch awl. And that just puts little dots on the leather. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, over here, over here, over here, and over there. Let me check that, make sure it's right size. That is actually just a bit short. So, I'm going to extend that a little bit down to there. Check these. That's good. And that's good. Now, I keep them under here until I'm done. We're going to go ahead and put those belt slots on this side. And once this is all glued together, I can just go ahead and punch them on through. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Now I want this one to be a little bit wider because that's going to have to be in two positions. So it's going to need a little bit more play around the belt. Go ahead and line this one up. I'm going to put one there and one there. And that'll make it just a little bit wider. Yeah, that'll do it. And I'm going to go ahead and after I punch those slots, those holes rather, I'm going to take my slot punch and play connect the dots with it. And we'll be back in just a minute. That's that slot cut then. And it's a little bit wider because, like I said, it needs to pivot. So if I take my 1.5 inch belt and I put it in there, you can see how that'll be able to pivot to that position and pivot to that position. So either position you want to wear the holster, it'll easily fit. Now, That's my belt, double layer, 9 ounce, 1.5 inch, standard size. So I'm gonna go ahead and punch these in, doing the same techniques. Punch the holes, span the holes with this one, and then I can do some trimming and finishing up with this one. It's very sharp, and I can just push it in and trim off any offending leather that I don't like. Then I'll take and I'll sand the inside of it. After that, it gets beveled, but we'll get to that. Okay, let me go ahead and punch these, and I'll be back. No, I'll tell you what, I'll leave it on for a little while. Why not? That punches a hole in it. Go down to the other one. Punch that hole. That one. And there's one at the bottom. Now before I go any further, let's check that spacing again. That's right on. And that's right on. Now, the slot puncher itself isn't wide enough for a double layer belt, but it works great to connect the dots with. I used to use a chisel, but that has a lot of bevel on it, and it was difficult to keep it lined up. With the slot punch, I still got to bend it over a little bit. Try and get it straight shot through. Almost there. And you can see how that connects the dots. I'll go ahead and do the other side. I've got a video on this slot puncher, this particular slot punch, and in it you can see how challenging it was to get this thing to work right. But now that it works right, it works pretty good. I like the end. I like the fact that it has those rounded ends on it. Because that just goes right into those holes. Now let's check this for fit. Oh, that's just right. We'll go ahead and do this other side. Yeah, this technique works a lot better than the way I was doing it before. I'm glad I finally invested in a slot punch. Works great now that I got it all sharpened and oh, my glue's jumping at me. Okay. Yeah, stuff jumps at me sometimes. Well, let me go ahead and finish these slots, and we'll be back and find out what I'm going to do next. Now that we got those slots punched, and like I said, once this is glued together, I'm going to go ahead and punch them on through to the other side. I'm looking forward to that part, because once you get it put together and you get your slots punched and all, and you get it dyed, then it really starts looking like a holster. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and bevel my edges with my edge beveler. Where's this thing? A little bit of stropping never hurt. Keep them nice and sharp. Then I'll bevel the inside of these slots. So when I burnish that, it looks nice and neat. Same thing over here. Oopsie. There we go. And then across the bottom. And the top. On the inside and the outside. Now on the outside, you don't have to be too careful at stopping at the end where that is because once these two pieces are glued together, you're going to bevel all the edges anyway. But on the inside, I'm going to stop where the glue is going to go, and that's why I had to. That's why I laid out where the glue is going on the inside. That'll be my stopping and starting point, because you don't want to bevel beyond that point. Well, you can. It just won't look all that good. It'll look kind of slop. Well, I think it'll look kind of sloppy. And the same thing on this one. If you do a little bit, ain't no biggie. World's not gonna end. Okay, and then do this side. Now the reason I'm beveling this is because once this is all glued together, I won't easily be able to get to these edges. So before these two halves are glued together, I'm going to go ahead and dye these and burnish these edges. Then, depending on how it looks just in glue, I might stitch it first and then burnish the rest of it, or just burnish the rest of it while it's still just glued. But next up, we're going to put some dye on this thing. Now let's see, I got that done, that done. Oh, I don't want to bevel the inside of these slots just yet. When I get this all glued together and I get the slots punched through, then I'll bevel the back side of them and burnish them as one. But right now, it's looking pretty good. So I'll go ahead and get some dye on this. I'll get set up for that, and we'll be back.